Good morning, Carmel. I'm Eric Maggio. It's 9:15. Students, come see the Street Scene Student Show. Space has been reserved for Carmel students to attend the Thursday, February 8th, 7:30 p.m. show. These tickets are complimentary, gifted from Street Scenes and Activities. All students wanting to attend are encouraged to arrive between 7 and 7:15. Entering through the auditorium foyer, students who cannot make the 7:30 show are encouraged to consider purchasing tickets for the Thursday, February 8th at 6 p.m. show. The cast, crew, pit, and directors of the student show have worked hard to bring you an amazing performance. Can't wait to see you there. Critical task for all students. Between now and tomorrow morning, all students need to remove all signs from the outside of their locker. Students are encouraged to temporarily move their signs into their lockers so they can come back out on display after street scenes. Any signs remaining on the outside of the lockers are at risk of being thrown out inadvertently during the street scenes event and related cleanup. Save your signs by moving them into your lockers today. Up next, we have Legal Lowdown.
So cash bail is essentially used as an insurance policy. So crime is committed, the police officers take a suspect into custody, that person is given a court date sometime in the future, weeks, months, depending on the case. To make sure that that person comes back for their court date, they're granted bail where they put forth a certain amount of money. They're then allowed to go free. When they come back for their trial, they get their money back. So it's an insurance policy to make sure people show up for their trial. Over time, cash bail, the amount of bail has tended to increase over time. And so rich defendants who are accused of sometimes major crimes can write a check for $250,000 and walk away from it. While poor defendants, sometimes with bail as low as maybe $2,000, are sitting in jail for sometimes months, sometimes years, depending on how often the case gets continued and delayed and how long the case itself takes. So I guess that leads to the question about why Illinois wanted to get rid of it. Yeah, so this was a long process in Illinois. Throughout the country, a number of cities had done away with cash bail. They see it as basically a poor tax. Again, the rich can get out of jail free, they maintain their ties to the community, they can maintain their job, whereas if you're a poor person and you can't raise whatever the amount is, $2,000, $10,000, $25,000, and you have to sit in jail, you're likely to lose your job, which then makes that situation worse. And all of this is happening when you haven't been proven guilty of anything. Right? You are simply accused, and supposedly we're in a system where you are innocent until proven guilty. And so these pushes have been going on for the last handful, maybe 10 years in cities throughout the country. Illinois was the first to take it on at a statewide level. And so they initially did it. It was supposed to go into effect January 1st. There were a number of lawsuits from state's attorney's offices throughout Illinois. The Illinois Supreme Court made its decision in the summer where they said that the cash bail policy did not violate the Illinois Constitution, and so that's why it went into effect in September.
So now that cash bail is abolished in Illinois, what's the impact going to look like in the communities around us?
So this is really interesting, and really it's too new to say for sure. There's the doomsday predictors where crime's going to skyrocket, and these repeat offenders, they're going to be on the street and they're just going to commit another crime. That hasn't been the case in the cities that have abolished cash bail. That hasn't been the case. Ultimately, judges can still detain defendants hold a defendant over until trial if that person is deemed a flight risk or a danger to the community. So people who are arrested for murder are not being let back out on the street, despite what you might have heard while the debate was ongoing. Judges do have that ability. The prosecutor asks the judge, and this person is a danger to the community, asks you to hold this person over till trial. Judge can still do that. The only thing that's missing is that cash amount. And so not only are we going to see lower level defendants, poor defendants accused of victimless crimes, drug possession crimes, being able to get out of jail, not sit in jail waiting for their trial. Those wealthy people who are accused of sometimes violent crimes or sex crimes can actually be held over without cash bail. So it not only is making it a more equitable system for the poor defendants who are sitting in jail before, but hopefully treating the rich as equally, I guess, as poor defendants who are accused of violent crimes as well. So I think one of the complaints about the SAFETY Act, the bill, and I think it's a valid complaint, is that it didn't do enough to build up our pretrial services. So that's pretrial services is the group that's supposed to be responsible for things like calling a defendant and reminding them that their court case is tomorrow, which sounds like something silly, but has been shown to legitimately make a difference. Those things that might prevent a defendant from showing up, just everyday life things that might prevent a defendant from showing up for their trial. There are still going to be defendants who don't show up for trial, there were defendants who didn't show up for trial under cash bail, who would skip bail and have to be hunted down by Dog the Bounty Hunter. But that's still going to happen. We're still going to have those cases, certainly. But it's not going to happen en masse, and it's not going to make some huge danger to the community. Crime rates are not going to skyrocket. I think all those fears are overblown. But I do think that Illinois, given time to kind of see how it's going, will increase and adjust the pretrial services to make it more effective.
The moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands like the ceiling can't hold us back. This is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
The esports spring season kicks off in a few weeks. If you're interested, please stop by room 606 after school for more information. Games that have been played in the past seasons include Super Smash Bros., Splatoon, Mario Kart, Fortnite, Valorant, League of Legends, and many others. I'm Merrick Maggio. Have a magical Monday, Carmel.